Hi guys, I trust you guys are doing so well today. Welcome back to another reading. If you're new here, my name is Colleen, aka Shamama Colleen. I will be the one pulling some messages for you guys for today. So before I get started, you guys, I'm not going to be in your DMs asking you for readings, so please do not get scammed. I'm not even taking personal readings right now. But if I ever do, everything will be, when I do, I shouldn't say if, when I do, everything will be in the link in my bio. And if you are needing a personal reading, please feel free to DM me, because I am taking it when people reach out and when it feels right. I'm just not advertising it right this instant. Okay, so with that being said, as you are moving through these readings, please allow your intuition to guide you while listening to this, because different messages, words, sentences, even if I'm talking about yourself, if you're hearing any sounds because I'm outside, it will mean different things to different people. Okay, so today's reading, we are going to talk about what spirit needs you to hear right now, right this instant. So we're gonna, do I need to use another deck? This one's fine. Okay, we're gonna use a second, we're gonna move forward. So let's see what does spirit need the listeners to hear right now. Oh, right away, you guys. I'm gonna start saying, I'm just gonna start saying things as I go, because that's just the energy that's coming to is very quick and swift. So there's a task that you have been guided to do, or you've been wanting to do. It's Eight of Pentacles, self-mastery. Think spider weeding a web. They're saying you're ignoring a task that you've been called to do. LOL, which is actually so funny, because I have been guided to do tarot go back to tarot again for so long, but I've been there's been so many things happening in my personal life, with moves and jobs, and there's just been so many things, and I felt if I'm wanting to pull tarot, which also I'm hearing they're bullshit, because they're this shit comes so easy to you can go in a park and pull tarot and not feel drained. So it's excuses. We make excuses, which, okay, we're talking about excuses. Whatever I'm saying right now, guys, I'm channeling, so if I'm talking about it, you need to hear it. So we make excuses, and it's just to prolong what we know we should be doing. One of the things I started is a spontaneity jar. And every week I've been pulling for it, and no matter what comes up, I have to do, okay? And it's been really healing for my inner teen, my inner child, but also not even creating, it's weird, is there was a malfunction in thinking, and you thinking that you didn't have more safety and trust in yourself, but you do. You actually really do. But this jar is actually even amplifying that and showing you how spontaneous you are, but how safe in spontaneity that you can be, and in change, right? And it's been really healing. So part of why I started that jar is I put a lot of the things in there that I personally was making excuses about not doing. And I was like, it doesn't matter what it is. If I pull it, I'm going to do it. So guys, excuses can keep you in this loop, and you're actually avoiding what you're actually meant to do. So with tarot, I've been hearing to start it for the last, I want to say 6 to 8 months, just start pulling again and showing up for people, giving them messages, and I've just had so many excuses, and I was on vacation, and it just came through on it came through actually I think the first or second night of my vacation. My best friend was she was you need to start doing this again, which she always is, the little golden angel nugget that God, source, ancestors speak through, that she's always sparking what I already know I should be doing, but then that permission has been everything. So take this as your sign. If there's something you've been ignoring that you have been called to do, it's been knocking, and I mean exactly what I'm gonna talk about. Every single person and their mother and their kid, every time you meet them, they bring it up to the point where you're everybody's telling me this. Yo, Spirit is saying don't ignore it, please. They're yeah, because you're actually bearing that into your subconscious, and it's actually not helping you, and it's creating it's making you doubt yourself. But they're there's no need to doubt. Just do what feels right. It may feel scary, and then the Two of Wands comes up here, and they're like, why you probably are, you know, not wanting to do is because you have to decide. You think you have to decide between one thing. Hi, Mom, another butterfly. You think you have to decide between doing that and something else, and I can relate. I can totally relate, because with all the, you know, because personally I work like I work a full-time job right now, but on top of that I'm still doing, now I've picked up tarot again, so I have like my workshops, right, where I teach classes and workshops for women to feel liberated in their body, release trauma to their body, you know, have fun. We twerk, we learn like the essence of twerking, we have fun, but we're also doing deep shadow work, so I do that. I also have one-on-ones, right, as well, and then now I'm doing tarot, and then now I'm pretty sure 100% I will be taking on one-on-one clients again shortly. So it's kind of like you're thinking you have to do one or the other, and what Spirit came through for me is it's not about choosing one or the other. It's about balancing what actually your soul resonates with into your life and making that a priority, and the rest will follow. You know, it could be that you, now that you're doing this, you may have less time for this, but then like the more time you're spending on this is actually creating what will actually sustain your life and actually cause you to like maybe let go of this, because maybe you're not wanting to do something because of financial stability or security. But what Spirit has been really hammering the last few days is when it is for you and when it is meant for you, and when it creates expansion, not just for you, but it comes easy to you, when you follow that, Source will have no choice but to create so much security and stability that you will not even feel like you are unsecure and not safe in going after this craft and going after what actually is your innate natural gift. Okay, so let's see what else comes up. Yeah, you know, this came in reverse, and I don't read cards in reverse unless I'm guided to. But Wheel of Fortune in reverse is, this is a karmic cycle. This is a karmic cycle, and it's like you start it's like you're being guided towards something, and then right before you're gonna do it, you're like, no, and then you make excuses, and then it just keeps you in this loop, but you don't actually decide to do it. You get close to deciding to do it, but you don't do it. And the 10 of Cups in reverse, that's what's preventing you from creating this happy ever after, this abundant life that you want. You know, like that abundant life that you want, that expansion, that like feeling of I love life, I love it every second and minute of the day. I am so happy to be alive. I think I'm experiencing heaven on earth. That comes from that decision. Literally. Yeah. They're like, so if you're wondering why are things happening to me right now, I feel like I've manifested this, blah, 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 blah. That's why. Because the decision that's going to get you to what you're wanting to manifest, you don't want to do. So babes, the next question will be, how can I move? Right now, what can I do to actually move towards that? Okay, so let's pull some more cards here. As what Spirit? I'm hearing not this one, I'm hearing this one. And then I will pull Stay Optimistic came out. So they're like, just because they're saying like, oh, like what you're doing is actually causing this life to not happen, they're like, it doesn't mean that it's not gonna happen. Stay optimistic, but take the steps to show Source, the universe, and yourself, the part of yourself that wants to manifest all these wonderful things and attract all these wonderful things into your life, that you're serious about it, right? So stay optimistic, but then make the decisions and take the steps to move forward. So, okay, self-forgiveness came up in the other reading as well. And I think maybe you did something, and I can kind of relate to this again. Like, this is so funny. But we're all a collective. We all connect with something. But let me just confirm. Let's see. Time to move on. Yeah, and it's kind of, yeah. I can kind of relate to this. Maybe you did try with something. And why I say I can kind of relate to this, because I personally did try with something. And when you're trying with certain things and you feel like, man, it's not working, or your spirit is telling you, like, all of a sudden, this is what it feels like. 1 minute, spirit is giving you the go ahead, and you're like, this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. We're on this path. You can see it clearly. You're like, yes, yes, yes. And then 3 to 6 months later, pivot. They're like, nope, abandon this. This is not it anymore. This is not expansive. And, you go through certain things, and it makes you a little apprehensive to wanting to start something new, or create something, or even invest in something that you love, because you're like, fuck, what if it happens? Sorry, guys, swearing. Crap. What if it happens again, right? And I get it. But they're like, forgive yourself. And you have a lot of shame, because you think like you've steered yourself like in the opposite direction. I'm going to tell you this right now from like my personal experiences. It's not about steering yourself the wrong way. It's about following your gut. And even if it didn't, Spirit said, sometimes we go somewhere and we have these big dreams. And it's not to say that those big dreams can't happen with this idea, but it's to say that those big dreams are meant to happen with an idea, but with another idea. But in order for that idea to even flourish, you need to experience this idea and it falling through to give you the lessons, the medicine, and what you need, so that you can take on to the other idea. And then what you learn from that actually helps this other idea move forward, right? So never shame yourself for choosing something that you ultimately saw and believed in so much, but it didn't go like a certain way. It doesn't mean that you failed yourself. It doesn't mean that like spirit has failed you. It just means that it was expansive and it wasn't. And now it's time for something else to be expansive, okay? And they are saying it's time to move on, time to let it go, and just move forward, decide, take the leap, is what I'm hearing. Do we have one more card? No, I'm hearing I have my mermaid deck here, so we're gonna see what they say. We're gonna see what comes up, and I have the book here, which I'll read from. A lot of times when I have these decks, I will channel. Well, we're constantly channeling, but there are decks where the meanings in here are so particular and in depth that I will always read and then give more and channel and elaborate on it. So this is one of those decks. I think I have a couple more other decks like that, but this is one of those decks, okay? So let's see what the mermaids have to say to you guys. Okay. Is that it? You guys, the wasps here have been crazy. Wasps. That's for somebody. Look up the meaning of wasps. I know what bee means, but look up specifically. Ooh. Look up specifically the meaning of wasps. I think that's it. Let's see, one more. And by the ocean, so it makes sense that the mermaids are like, we want to chat. We want to chat. Okay, divine sensuality and wave of power. I don't read oracles in reverse. I should stop saying that, because I say that and then I read them in reverse, y'all. But when an oracle comes in reverse, it is even more, what do you call it? It's like asserting the message, right? So I have divine sensuality here, right? And then I have wave of power in reverse. Before I even read the messages of these two, divine sensuality, that's feminine energy, right? That is your sacral, that is your femininity, your sensuality, you taking care of yourself, that is upright, but they're saying it, the wave of power being in reverse is, they're like, you need to balance your divine sensuality and channel that into using that as a surge of power to help you move forward. I am literally specifically hearing use your divine sensuality to manifest, and they want me to elaborate, but I'm going to be very careful with what I am saying, and I'm going to trust that you're getting. So you guys, as we're doing this reading, you're going to learn a lot about me. And one of the things is it's not even spiritual. I don't even like saying spiritual anymore, because like I feel like that word has just been confuffled. It's, you know, puts you in a box, and I just like to say love is my religion. Love is my religion, but there's a lot of things that I believe in, and not only believe in, but I trust in, because I have personally experienced it. So when I'm telling you these things, do your own experiences, do your own research. Don't just take what I just say. But I'm still going to tell you. And sometimes you're going to hear shit and be like, yo, this girl sounds Coco. She sounds crazy. But we're going to say it anyways. You guys, if you don't know by now, I feel like, you know, if you're like in the spiritual community, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, you can use your intimate time with yourself or with your partner, pick up the pieces, you guys, to manifest what you want. They're saying use your intimate time with yourself, create your little ritual, self-ritual to honor yourself, honor your sensuality. There's a bike here, and I'm hearing, as I'm saying this, the bike in this specific deck is the Chariot card. It is moving forward. It is moving forward. It is traveling. But also, I'm hearing, you guys need to do this, and it's like you need to travel somewhere. And okay, this is so funny. Okay, one of the things I have in my I'm gonna the sage is burning. I'm just going to dust it off. One of the things I have in my little spontaneity deck is to go somewhere, book a hotel, and treat myself like I am my own sneaky link, even though I don't. I am my own sneaky link. So I put flowers on the bed, you know, we get a little lingerie, we get some massage oil for our beautiful papayas. Anyways, so they say you need to do that. You need to do that not where you're at. So it could be if you have the means to go in a different city, travel somewhere and make that a little self-love ritual. If you have the means to book a hotel, do that. If you don't have the means, y'all, if you like camping, nature is where it's at. Mother Nature will be like, yes, queen, or yes, king. You can tenting is $40 a night. Go pop a tent somewhere, make a little love ritual for yourself. So please I'm trusting you. You get what I'm saying. So I love this. So they're like, whatever you need to do to go in a different environment, okay, to do this little love ritual, that is what's going to amplify this power. And then when you are at the peak of your intimacy with yourself, you are going to think about that power unleashing itself, you remembering it and channel and grounding it in, and being so fortified in that this is going to shift upright, and it's just going to feel like a surge of energy, a surge of electricity, and all of a sudden you are feeling like, holy damn, this is me. Like, yep, she's back or he's back, you know. So that's what they're saying. That's your what do you call it? That's your invitation. That is my homework for you, okay? Take on moving forward. Every reading 100% most likely will have a homework, because I am a shadow work queen. Because we love being self-aware, and we love tending to ourselves and tending to our subconscious and loving our shadow. So I will always leave you with something to take on to your day-to-day life to even better your life. Okay, so let's read now what this says. Yes, the mermaids are protectors and champions of sexuality and freedom, allure, and power. To experience physical bliss is not a purely physical event. Ooh, this is an intimate connection that connects people who make love or kiss or even just shake hands, who touch, and when we exchange this great intimacy with one another, there is established between us a strong energetic connection. So I'm hearing not only this is not, and why they're saying a different environment, it's like you need to see how you're connected to everything around you, and tapping into your sensuality in a different environment will help you see that. And I feel like it is the same. Like, I personally feel like, you know, sometimes when you need to shift things and you're in the same patterns, just take a trip. Like, if you can't take a trip, just book, I don't know, go for a walk differently. And this is what the spontaneity jar has also like been really great with. It creates different pathways for your neurosystem, so that like you allow yourself to think differently. And then when you're thinking differently, it's easier for you to connect the things even easier, because we get stuck in the same patterns and cycle. The sun is back out. Same patterns and cycles. And sometimes it's kind of like it becomes a little easier for us to like ignore certain things that are around us. While if you're in a different environment, your body is immediately in like curious mode. You're tapping and tuning into everything around you, like, you know what I mean? So that's kind of like the energy that they're saying, is it's going like being in I feel like there's like an ant on me or something. Yo, am I tripping? Okay. No, I don't think there was anything. I think there actually was. I might have killed it. Yeah, there was. Okay, it was like a little fly. Anyways, so being in a different environment will help you tap into that sensuality even more, because your senses will already be heightened, because you're assessing this, like the environment around you, right? Because you're getting used to it. So that'll make it easier for you to tap into these things, and it'll also make you easier for you to connect with more things, be more in love with life, and, you know, making love to your food, making love to the grass, making love to like you hugging a tree. It's not just like even self, right? Like self-love is love for like everything around you, right? So anyways, let me continue. But there is also an undercurrent in our culture that still sees lovemaking, sensuality, and the love of the pleasure of the body, and the celebration and elevation of that pleasure to an art, as something that is laden and twisted with guilt. Yeah, the tainted sexual beliefs of the medieval era, which led to a hatred of the body, of sensuality, and demonization of women, are still with us in some ways, right? Even the sexualization of our bodies undermines our ability to make love, to pleasure ourselves, and to enjoy the great pleasure and joy that has been gifted to us. The mermaid has come to be a symbol of the temptress, the woman who wishes to draw men and lovers to her. And in many ways, she's a symbol of danger. And so it is with our sensuality. If you have drawn this card, it is likely that you are ready to explore and dive into your own physical expression of bliss, and maybe through making love with cared for other, achieving greater intimacy in your relationships, or even experiencing blissful sensual moments while receiving a massage or dancing. But this card encourages you to reconnect with the love of your natural physicality, and to explore the pleasure of your sensuality, the pleasure your sensuality can bring to you, and to begin understand and untangle any of the lingering cultural or personal guilt you may have about this. There are many beliefs in our culture, many taboos too, that women who enjoy sexual feelings and evoke them in others are impure, courting danger, threatening themselves, a menace to society, a witch, blah, 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 blah. But that is not true, okay? So and this surge of power is really going to allow, so not only you getting, so what I'm saying, like, I was just give you the analogy. You flying somewhere, let's just say you fly. Take that out of the lines, you guys. If you're not flying, fill in the blanks. You flying somewhere, you go somewhere, you book a hotel for yourself, you spend maybe 2-3 nights, right? It doesn't have to be far, right? Spend 2-3 nights, and then you create a beautiful ritual with yourself, and then the surge of power energy comes through, and then all of a sudden you are tapped in. You feel tapped into your sensuality, your sacredness, your creativity, your passion, and then all of a sudden you're tapped into everything. You're meeting new people, you're having new opportunities show up to yourself, and then you're also not only that, but you're seeing the different ways where you've been holding yourself back, and then that comes up and you can clear it. And then you're seeing the different ways where you've been shaming yourself, right? Self-forgiveness. I literally just said that, but before. And then that comes up, and then you clear, and then you see the ways where you can even empower yourself more with your sensuality. And then tapping into that, guys, will help with this next chapter and this you creating and manifesting this life that you want, because your sensuality, femininity, your creativity, it is tied to your sacral. It is tied to your sacral. Okay? And your sacral, and our sacral as women, is literally where, but men as well, but specifically for women, it is where it's where our power comes from. You know, it is where our creativity comes from. Like, if you were tuned into your sacral chakra, you can see a grass and you can lay on it and you can feel the grass talking to you. You can feel the trees kissing you. You can literally be outside in the wind. The way the wind brushes on your skin, it feels like it is kissing you. Do you know what I mean? That is you being tapped into your sensuality, you know. And as women, like, we carry our stress, it goes into our lower bodies, like specifically our sacral, but our hips. And this is also why I wanted to start the twerk shops, is because the twerk shops, twerking, dancing, moving, has helped me tremendously personally, moving through like a lot of my personal emotions, but also activate that femininity. You guys, I could be feeling like total doo-doo, and all I need to do is just put on a song, move my body, shake, and I will keep preaching this, like, you guys, till the end of my life, but like, and shake my peach back there, and feel like I am the baddest bee on this planet, and feel like I am a queen, and feel like I am a goddess. And it's not the act of movement, it is the act of remembering that as humans, specifically as women, our body is meant to be flowed with. Our body is meant to move. Our body is meant to be like water, right? Like when you're looking at waves, it comes in, it comes out. It's not, if the ocean ever stayed stagnant, we would die. So like energy and new sources of information and creativity it can only move through you easily and swiftly and abundantly when you're also in movement, when you're allowing yourself to not stay stagnant or in one place. I did a little bit of when I did, let's just say, what do you call it? You know the things that grow in the fairy circle? No, I'm just gonna say, okay, let's just say I'm buying crimini mushrooms, the crimini mushrooms at the grocery store, okay? But there is a different type of that is used for psychedelic purposes. You catch my drift. So when I did those ones, I got this download, and you know, when I was, if you guys have ever done it, you get to a point where, you know, your body feels like, your stomach feels bloated, you feel nauseous, and that's because your body's trying to like fight it. It's like, oh my God, what did you put in me, blah, blah, blah. And when I am on it, my body is like, move. I can feel my root activating. I can feel my sacral activating. I can feel like my kundalini activating. And then like when I was on it one time, I asked, and Spirit was like, no, when you are in movement, right? Because I know there's a point where, you know, you're on the thing and you can become very internalized with your thoughts because everything is amplified, right? But then I started noticing when I got up and moved, it's almost like those anxiety, or, you know, you might call it like paranoia thoughts, or those thoughts that would loop you into a cycle. It feel like they had a less of effect, or they had a harder time latching on to your mind and pulling you into this loop when you were in movement. So I did a couple times, like, whoa. And then I was asking Spirit, and then Spirit was like, yeah, when you are in movement, it is harder for those low vibrational energies to latch onto your field because you're actually in the natural state of like flow. So you're one with nature. But when you stay stuck and stagnant, it tries to come in and lock things in, right? And this is why I will always preach movement is literally medicine. It doesn't matter, you guys, if you're not a fan of twerking, move your body. You could go for a walk, you could go stretch outside, just even do this, you can get up, like shake it up. It is tremendous. So that is all tied into your sensuality, right? So in order to tap into that power, you have to be able to allow yourself to clear shame, any embarrassment, anything that comes up from your sensuality will unlock that power and will allow you to move forward with your next idea, next venture, okay? This is the last message for this card, and then I will move on to the next one, and then we're going to close the reading. So it says here, it is possible at this time that you are being judged by others for the sexual choices and mates you have chosen or may be about to choose. Please know it is your birthright to choose freely who you give yourself to and why. The only question is whether this is a sacred or honorable exchange, whether this feels like it is a good choice for you personally. It is time to put aside societal and even cultural traditional norms and judgments about who we choose and how we choose to enact sexually, to enact our sensuality. There is a boundary being broken through as long as this is a free choice of your own and one that brings wisdom, health, joy, and respect. It is not for others to make this choice. It is yours alone. Break through the fear. I could go on and on, but I'm gonna move on. I trust that was exactly what you needed to hear, okay? So, the wave of power in reverse, okay? I'm just trying to see if the bike is passing again, you guys. That's confirmation. That's confirmation. Maybe you have a bike. Maybe you need to get on your bike and go and drive on the highway and go somewhere, right? And park wherever, pack what you need to like spend a night or two out in nature. Maybe that's what you need to do, right? I'm just gonna read the definition because I went a lot into the wave of power. So it says here, it is time for you to seek out and optimize the power of natural cycles. As the what were we talking about? We were talking about flow, movement, being like water, y'all. As a great wave of power is gathering, and instead of being a voyager as it passes by, watching, observing, as you have so often done, you can now watch this wave rise up high and find yourself traveling and moving at a great pace through the many changes you have long sought to make, okay? This is a time of triumph and of harnessing and directing, of asserting your will and knowing that what it is you want. The power is gathering. It will be here soon. Decide now what it is you want, for you can move in the direction of your dreams and succeed at this amazing, impressive time. Rise up because you have the power. And you too are a part of this great cycle. It is a glorious time to participate and be at the forefront. Feel the force within you match the power that approaches you. Together, when fused, there can be a great time of progress and magic. And that is confirming of everything I just said. Okay, you guys, I'm going to leave you guys with this. And I trust that this was exactly what you needed to hear at this moment, because that's what Spirit needed you to hear. And I will catch you guys on the next reading. And I'm sending you guys so much love. And I'm thinking, the earth spirits for holding space for us, the elementals, ancestors of the highest of light, the galactic beings of the highest of light, angel team of the highest of light, yourself for being here, mine for channeling these wonderful messages for you guys. And I will catch you guys on the next reading. Bye, guys.